Hey, what's up, guys? Got something a little bit different today. I figured I'll cover a couple of news stories that caught my interest over the week. Things related to like action movies or fitness, bodybuilding, or martial arts. So, these stories, I'm going to cover Sylvester Stallone, the news about the potential divorce, unfortunately, and then powerlifter Larry Wills talking about getting off PEDs, which I think is a great decision, and then Tristyn Lee, the ripped kid that got famous, right, on through social media, talking about like how being shredded kind of ruined his life in a lot of ways. So anyway, let me know if you like this kind of video. Maybe I'll give you a couple stories every week that I find interest, provide some commentary on, and maybe do that once a week. Anything related to like action heroes or martial arts and or bodybuilding fitness. Let me know if you want to see more of these, and let's get to it. Okay, so this first story is going to focus on Sylvester Stallone. I'm sure you heard by now his wife, Jennifer Flavin, actually filed for divorce, so we're going to talk about that. Oh, Stallone, by the way, his new movie, Samaritan, just hit Amazon Prime. You guys should check it out. Comment below if you like the movie. I'm going to try to watch it either tonight or this weekend. But anyway, there's a few different stories related to this. This one's actually kind of ridiculous. Yahoo, it says, Sylvester Stallone's wife filed for divorce because he wanted another dog. And it says, model Jennifer Flavin reportedly filed for divorce after the couple disagreed over whether or not to get a new dog. TMZ reports that Stallone wanted to adopt a Rottweiler to help protect their family, but Flavin wasn't into the idea, spurring a heated argument earlier this summer that apparently brought up a number of other issues between the couple. None of those issues appear to be marriage enders, although we think the timing is a little too convenient. You know, obviously, it had nothing to do with the dog. The dog, it could have been like if Stallone wasn't doing the dishes, though I'm sure they probably have a housemate or something. But just in general, these kind of like small trivial things, you know, having an argument like that over a dog or, you know, a cat or dishes or yard work or anything, there's obviously other things beneath the surface that are simmering, and it's just some trivial thing. Okay, now the thing, it just went to a boil, and now let's just like air out all this shit that's been going on the last 5 or 10 years. It comes to the surface and explodes. So I think the dog probably had something to do with it indirectly. That just happened to be like the match that lit, you know, the fire or whatever, the bomb that has been beneath the surface for a while. If you look at some of the other articles, by the way, and this doesn't make a lot of sense either. Look at this one. Sylvester Stallone's wife, Jennifer Flavin, files for divorce, calls marriage irretrievably broken. So she filed a petition for dissolution of marriage, and they've been married for 25 years, by the way. So that's a good run, and I hope they work this out. Like I bet you they could work this out. And one reason is that it had nothing to do with infidelity or anything, so that was actually good to hear. It actually had to do with intentional dissipation, depletion, and or waste of marital assets, which has had an adverse economic impact on the marital estate. And the document that she filed says she's requesting that she be compensated and made whole by receiving an unequal distribution of the marital assets in her favor. Are you nuts? She also wants exclusive use of the Palm Beach estate during the pendency of the divorce proceedings. So is it really money related? Like, you know, when you look at that and you read it talking about basically intentional dissipation, depletion, or waste of marital assets. So I doubt Stallone just bought, you know, 12 Corvettes or a dozen Ferraris or whatever. It doesn't seem like that. What I'm thinking is that maybe there were some investments he's made.
Fortunately for you and everybody in this room, his deals fell through because the market dried up. And you lost millions.
Now, I don't think he would have necessarily made poor investments. It's not like he would have put, you know, hundreds of $millions into Dogecoin and watched it plummet, right? Like, I highly doubt they're in that situation where they're running out of money. Maybe he made some investments that didn't quite pan out. But, you know, the thing is, like, let's be honest, he made all the money. I know she gave up, like, her modeling career back in the day, and they say behind every strong man is a woman, and she probably helped steer and guide him in the right direction, and I'm sure she is responsible for the family amassing a certain amount of that fortune. But at the end of the day, it's really Stallone. I mean, he's been, ever since Rocky 1, he's been a millionaire, and then as the sequels came out, multi-millionaire. And you know, he's probably got advisors, maybe not even advisors. Like, he's a smart guy in general. You know, he would have had to diversify some of that money coming in from all this films that he was doing, etc. So I think, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, for one, he pretty much made all the money. For two, he's getting older. Like, if he wanted to spend it on whatever, like, he should. enjoy it. You can't take it with you. I know he'd want to leave some for his kids, obviously, but you almost have to question, like, is this one of the reasons why he's so pissed off with the Winklers about the rights to Rocky? Like, I made a video about that, and I think it's deeper than that. It's all about, like, what they can do with the character and the direction and creative control. But he had mentioned in his tweet, you know, like, the Winklers, oh, you're just going to leave all that for your kids. What about my kids? So I don't know, man. Maybe he made a big fuss about it because having the rights to Rocky is a way to at least get something back to the family. Even when he's, like, gone, they could kind of still, you know, have something continuous that'll bring money in for the family. So anyway, what are your thoughts about this whole divorce thing? Do you think it's actually going to happen, or do you think maybe she just kind of like filed the papers and then as a way to, like, maybe he's still investing in something that's not quite working out and she can't talk him out of it, and she says, all right, I'm going to divorce you, and then that'll make him realize, oh, okay, maybe I won't go along with, you know, whatever possible plan he had. So anyway, long story short, man, nothing but respect for Stallone, and I hope this thing actually works out, and I'm glad it has nothing to do with, like, you know, marital infidelity, cheating, nothing like that. He's a great guy, and, you know, if it a lot of marriages, relationships, so money is a huge factor. Money drives people apart a lot of times, you know, arguments over finances, but hopefully they'll resolve it, and I hope it works out. But anyway, watch Samaritan this weekend. I'll be checking it out on Amazon. Powerlifter Larry Wills, he talks about his decision to stop taking steroids. So, as you guys know, if you follow the channel, I'm really into martial arts. I'm really into fitness and bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding. But anyway, this is actually kind of cool to hear. Apparently, he's going to start taking TRT since he can't actually produce testosterone. Now, this article says he's getting off steroids indefinitely, and he notes that he's been using all kinds of performance-enhancing drugs or PEDs for the last decade. So, the one thing I like about Larry Wills is at least he's honest and open about it. Like, there's so much mystery in the fitness world, and there's, like, fake natties or people that aren't really, like, open and honest with what they're doing. Well, for one, there's, like, a stigma with it, right? For two, it's not even legal, like a lot of the stuff these guys take. Three, a lot of them are endorsing supplement companies, so it's like, you know, what do these supplements do? It's like, if they're so good, why do you have to take all these performance-enhancing drugs? Obviously, the supplements aren't that great, right? So it's a conflict of interest. So I understand why a lot of people won't be open and talk about that stuff. But, you know, there are more information out there. And people like Larry Wills, it's actually good that he's honest with the public. But anyway, the article says that he's basically going to get on 175 milligrams per week, which would be on the higher side of being natural, healthy male in his prime. So he's still getting an advantage if you think about it. So at least he's going about it smart, though. It says he's going to get his blood work done by a doctor, and if his testosterone levels are more than what's necessary after treatments, they will decrease his doses. Why is Larry Wills going off steroids? I think easy speculation could probably be for health reasons, right? Like maybe he had a health scare. If you think about it, there's like a lot of guys like my age that are dying. You know, my age or younger. That's crazy. And a lot of it has to do with their life of, you know, you think fitness, you're supposed to be healthy. But when you go the other route and on all these drugs and everything, it's like, well, you're really not that healthy anymore. It actually does a lot more negative than positive. From a health perspective, obviously, from a performance perspective, you're like off the freaking charts, you know, compared to like a natural guy, especially as you get older. Like I often joke as being a natural guy, like middle age now, it's like, it's almost like you're driving with the parking brake on. Like, you'll get small incremental gains. The good thing is you will keep them. Like, you will keep them for life. But they get very minuscule as you get older, right? But anyway, Larry's reasoning, he says, seeing what I'm capable of on TRT is more of a priority to me, is more exciting. It makes me feel invigorated. I've been on PEDs and hitting PRs for the last decade. He's been putting up crazy lifts, by the way. And then he said, I know if I push the envelope enough, if I go to the extremes enough, I can get to 1,000-pound deadlift. But what I don't know is how will I perform without all that assistance. I mean, this guy's just got to be naturally strong, right? Because there's a lot of other guys that take the drugs that he does and aren't nearly as strong. So there's a lot more into it. Plus, a lot of it has to do with like the nervous system training. So he's got that. So even if he gets off all these like PEDs, he's still going to know how to do the lifts correctly. He's still going to have the nervous system and other things like that working in his favor. He also said, let's see, Wills also notes that he feels like the move might make him a better lifter overall. It will force me to be more disciplined with everything, food, recovery, training. That is right. Like, if anyone is ever thinking about going the route on getting on those other substances, nobody should do it until they have years of experience where they know what to do with the diet, where they know what to do naturally with the recovery, what they know what to do with the training. And then when you actually know everything, which you'll know very quickly as a natural guy if you're doing it right or not, right? There's no like cheat code you're using. So I do agree with what he says there. You do got to be more disciplined and you got to be smarter about everything. He says, when you're on cycle, you can get away with a lot. You can make mistakes. You can be a bit lazy. You know, another thing is too, like, because your strength would go up quicker when you're on stuff, a lot of people end up getting injured because like the tendons and ligaments aren't as strong. But the muscle strength will like, accelerate. If you do it naturally, you can make pretty good progress, especially when you start, but it's not going to be like anything crazy, right? That would put you at high risk of injury. And he remarks on the ease of gaining or maintaining strength while on drugs. And it said this decision also comes on the heels of an injury for Wills while preparing for the 2022 Middle East Strongest Man contest. The aspiring strongman strained his back during a deadlift session. He also had suffered numerous injuries during his career. He doesn't give a timetable for how long he'll be off steroids, but he does admit there'll likely be a time again in the future when a PR like 1,000-pound deadlift will necessitate going back on PEDs, but for right now, he's willing to see what he can pull off without them. I bet you he'll probably be able to maintain a lot of the strength that he's built, especially if he's going to be on a higher testosterone level than like a normal healthy male, like on the higher end. So he should be able to maintain most of that for the most part. And then I wonder what the actual record for the deadlift is as far as like a natural guy goes. Because who knows, maybe he could smash that being quote natural. I don't know if you wouldn't really consider being not TRT natural. And the fact that he has previously been on these PEDs, I don't think you could ever consider him being a natural guy. Like, I don't know what the rules are if you have to be natural for X amount of years and then maybe you could compete like in a natural contest, or if you're forever banned. So either way, I bet you his numbers won't really go down that much. And like he said, he will have to be more disciplined and a lot smarter with all of the training. There's no extra assistance that could kind of like, let him get by. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think about his decision. By the way, I have a stack of cats on my lap right here, if you're wondering what this is. I'm blessed in many ways. So the next article, former child bodybuilder star Tristyn Lee opens up on his brutal regime. It says, getting shredded ruined my life. So I guess he just celebrated his 20th birthday. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's got about like 2 million followers on Instagram. Small guy. I don't even know if he's like 5 foot tall, but extremely ripped, just completely shredded, and that's what he's known for. So getting known for something, it's good, right? Because you could get a following, you get fans, but it's also like a gift and a curse if you think about it, because he almost like has to maintain this shreddedness because that's what he's known for, and that's what people like him for, as far as like in general, not obviously his friends or family, I'm sure like him for more than that, right? But in the social media world. So it's almost like you can't deviate from that, and especially being a younger person, that really sucks for your life. Like, you can't just enjoy a good meal at a restaurant. Like, back when I was a teenager, I was so hardcore into bodybuilding where it's like, I felt I can't miss a meal. I mean, my brother were so ridiculous. We used to smuggle Tupperwares of like, rice, broccoli, and tuna fish or something into the movie theater as if we would just shrink if we didn't get our, meal in 3 hours, which is ridiculous. And it does kind of limit you in other areas of your life. Like, there's something to be said about being that disciplined. It is a way you could reach goals, and discipline is a great quality. But on the other aspect, it's like it does negatively affect a lot of just normal life, especially when you're that age. So let's see what this article says. And look how shredded he is there. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. Yeah, I guess he's turned 20 and he's on his journey to bulk up. In recent posts and videos online, he claims he's heavier and feeling stronger than ever. See, that's one thing. When you're leaner, it is actually, usually you're going to be in a calorie deficit for one. So it's actually pretty harder to gain strength, and you don't even have like the cushion between your joints of like the fat and the fluids and all that kind of stuff. So it's not fun lifting heavy when you're like really lean, for one, and it is a lot harder to get stronger. That's what I personally noticed. When I was in my fat buff phase, that was by far when I was like the strongest. Anyway, he recently opened up about how becoming shredded ruined his life. That part's in quotes. In a recent video, he revealed that he maintained 4% body fat for 2 years. That's ridiculous. Again, I gave him credit for being that disciplined, but there's like there's a lot of sacrifice people have to make, and especially when you're like a teenager, it's got more cons than pros in my opinion. But anyway, he survived on 1,800 calories a day while working out twice and walking 20,000 steps. He started the video saying, "Let's talk about how getting shredded ruined my life." I guess he used to play soccer and eat 3,000 calories a day while also weightlifting and enjoying life. That's the key part. So I guess he really kind of, I think he started like taking growth hormone or something because he wanted to be like a soccer guy, but he was so short. Again, I don't even know if he's barely 5 foot. So the growth hormone didn't really help him gain height. And I guess he just like got really good gains in the gym. So he just kind of like, focused on more like the weightlifting and stuff. But the obsession to become shredded led him to cut right down on food until his body fat reached sub 5%. He explained it started to become his vicious cycle of burn more, eat less, and every single crutch I was using to feel less hungry began to increase. And his social life was affected too. Yeah, see, I told you guys, of course it was. He wasn't sure what he could eat off a menu without knowing the nutrients. Wow, I mean, again, I used to be like that where I was just so anal about everything, but now it's like, look, man, if I go to a restaurant, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. I'm not going to do it all the time. I'll do it like on my cheat meal for the week, right? So I don't feel any guilt that way, and I still maintain the body for the most part, but I still get to enjoy life. It's all about finding a good balance overall. I mean, unless you're training for like Mr. Olympia or something, then it's like, well, you got that specific goal, and all that discipline should pay off. Whereas for a lot of other people, it's like, the discipline could pay off in other areas of life. But honestly, if you were 4%, is it really going to make that much of a difference if you were 6%? Like, I mean, 6% is ridiculous. Even 8% is kind of ridiculous in some ways. And if you maintain 8%, which is probably about the bare minimum where you have your health and your hormone levels and all that, like, maintaining anything lower than that, especially year round, like there's so many like health effects, negative health effects. But anyway, Tristyn revealed, "I wouldn't let myself go out there and have a bite to eat with a friend or go out because I didn't know the calories in the food." 20-year-old is now enjoying eating more and getting bigger. This week he posted a topless picture with a chopping board full of raw meat. He added the caption, "20 birthday, bulk activities, eat steak, lift weights, full face, no cakes." Well, okay, so I mean, he should probably eat a piece of birthday cake at least on his birthday, right? Anyway. Good and bad. It is interesting to see these extremes, and again, because he's known to be a shredded guy, he probably feels like he has to maintain that image. I mean, that's how he got that following at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens when he bulks up, man. He'll definitely enjoy his life more. You could count on that.
The food is good.